The parable I want to tell you is called Finding Faith. And instead of reading it, I'll just tell it. Hopefully I can remember it. It's been a few years. But it's about this pastor who has this ability, finds out early on in his life that when he lays hands on people, he's a kind of a bit of a charismatic, he lays hands on people and he starts to pray, people lose all of their beliefs, all of their religious convictions. Belief in gods, belief in angels and demons, beliefs in the Bible, it all just dissipates. And so, of course, this is not a good thing to have in his line of work. So he decides, I better not pray for people, leave that for somebody else. I'll try and do good works, try and preach. So that's all very well. But then one day he's on a train and he's going to some appointment and he's across from this kind of stressed out older guy in a suit, and he hears him on the phone and he's shouting at someone on the other side about work stuff, threatening to fire this person. Then the conductor comes up, he's very rude to the conductor. He's just this ball of stress and anger. Now as he's talking on the phone and shouting, this businessman notices, the pastor notices that he's carrying a Bible. And so when he hangs up, he leans over to the pastor and says, listen, sorry about that. I'm just very stressed at the moment. Work is very difficult. I'm in a very tough business. You've got to be strong, uncompromising. You've got to be respected and feared. And he says, yeah, it's difficult, but the truth is I'm a man of deep faith. He says, I go to my church every week. I read my Bible religiously. I'm involved in youth work. I do some kind of outreach stuff. He says, this work, what you see here in this suit, that's not really me. I'm a child of God. You're a child of God. This passes in an instant. This is nothing. In the eternal, this is just a blink of an eye. This is a false self. Our true identities are in God. So the pastor thinks for a second and then says, would you mind, if I prayed for you? And so the guy says, oh yeah, that would be fine. Businessman's very happy, closes his eyes. Pastor just leans over, puts his hand on the guy's shoulder, says a simple prayer. Well, businessman opens up his eyes and is like, what a fool I've been, believing in God and the Bible and some sort of heaven above and hell below. It's all ridiculous. Yeah, I've been a fool. Like these scales fall from his eyes. He says, I was blind, but now I see. They continue on. The pastor gets off the train and the businessman goes to his work. Well, the problem is now the businessman doesn't have this idea that his real identity is in God and that this is just some passing thing. Now he has to look at what he does and he realizes that he's just a hard-nosed, stressed out, angry businessman in a job that he doesn't really like, treating people in ways that he doesn't really like. Eventually he has a breakdown, gives it all up, gives a lot of his money away, starts working for a charity organization, starts feeling much better about himself. Then years later, he's walking down the street, he sees this pastor. He runs up to the pastor, he grasps him and he says, thank you for helping me discover my faith.